Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for one of the most moving programs you will ever see. The book Surviving a Narcissist by Octavia Nicholas has already changed many lives, has already moved many people. The book is not just about prose, it's not just about her experiences, about surviving a narcissist, about telling her truth, her story of how life, once dominated by narcissism, transitioned into a purpose awakening reality. It's not just about the prose, and it is indeed a powerful story. It is also about the poetry, and this is the basis of spoken word. We're talking with her about the amazing, touching, enlightening poetry in this book, Surviving a Narcissist. Octavia Nicholas joins us. Thank you so much, Octavia.
Thank
Joining
you.
us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have to start by asking a little bit about the book, even before we go into the poems. Just tell our audience, why did you write about your experience, which was very difficult, traumatic even? Why write about it?
Well, Surviving a Narcissist was written for various reasons, but the two main reasons would be one, it helped with my personal healing, and also I wrote Surviving a Narcissist so I could help others. I think what I went through was very intense. There were so many aspects to my story that I thought that it would be very helpful if I can share with others, because I believe that there's so many women, and not just believe, but I found out even after writing the book from the persons who've reached out, that there's so many persons out there who are suffering in silence. And that was the reason for writing the book. And I'm happy I did, because it's actually doing the work that it's meant to do, which is reaching others and helping as well.
Just very briefly, some reform. All of that can be found in the book. Just generally, what was your experience and how were you able to emerge from it stronger and more resilient?
Yeah, so for me, my story, it's a personal story of survival. It's about being in a relationship, being in the relationship for a number of years, and basically getting to the point where you realize that what's happening is really not what it should be. So basically, I went through verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. And then when I finally decided that I had enough and I wanted to break free, then I had to go through a whole line of things to break through. So even the legal aspect of it as well, I had to go through back and forth, just trying to get my freedom, trying to get my justice to get out of that. So it was something that was pretty intense. So you decided you're going to leave the relationship, and then you got physically abused, and then I went on to try to seek my justice, and then I had to go through quite a bit to achieve that as well. So that's what the book is about. It's about telling that story, and also letting people know that you can, you're not trapped forever. There is a way out, but you have to persevere. You have to be determined in your mind that you can make it, that you can break through, and, just go for it, get the help that you can. So for me, I got through because I had a good support base. I had family and friends who were very supportive of me. I also had to go through the legal aspect of it, so I needed to get a good legal representation as well. And basically, mentally trying to train my mind as well to be strong, because it got so intense that many times I thought, maybe I should just give up. But with all the help and support that I had, I was able to break free and get my freedom and also my justice. So I just thought I would share so people know that there is hope.
And yours is an extraordinarily powerful story. Congratulations on the book, Octavia, and congratulations on finding the courage to tell your story.
Thank you.
One of the poems is speaking about the very same thing. I speak my truth. Tell me about that poem.
Yeah, so I Speak My Truth explains in a nutshell why I wrote the book. And it's not just a story, but it's actually my truth in terms of It's a true story of what happened. And I had to sit and think, well, why are you writing this book? What's your reason for wanting to, take this further, for wanting to share? And my reasons are outlined in that poem, because it says in the poem that I speak my truth to teach my child. Because after I became a mother, I realized that, you're not just living for you at this point. You're accountable to, to someone else. You have to be a role model to someone else. And I decided then I have to take, some steps. So one of the reasons for writing the book is to teach my child that silence is not okay. It's also to help, young ladies who may be going through. It says in the poem to bring relief to, a mother. So it's for mothers, for young ladies, even to teach, my child as well. So it says here, I speak my truth, and the reason why I decided to speak my truth. So when you listen to the poem, I speak my truth, you will understand and learn why the book was written in a nutshell.
Extraordinary. How did writing help you to survive, to thrive, to emerge stronger? How impactful was that?
Well, writing for me, it was by no means easy. It was very difficult. There were times when I would have to just forget about it for a while and come back to it at some other time, because it's like you're reliving your story all over again. So you're going through the pain all over again, because you didn't just go through the experience, but you're now reliving it by putting it on paper. So every time I had to go through and, bring it back to mind, recall everything that I went through and actually put it on paper, that was hard to do. So basically it helped me to heal as well, because I was now accepting what I went through. I was able to go through everything in my mind, and that really helped as well. It helped me to heal.
Was it a double-edged sword you found that in trying to help you to cope and in trying to help you to prevail, that it also brought you back to that space and place? So was that also a challenge for you?
Yes, it was. But I later understood as well that that's what healing is about. So in order for you to heal, sometimes you have to go back. You have to go back and bring back the painful memories, think about them, think of where you maybe went wrong, what you can do differently, how you can retrain your mind to forget about certain things. And when I say forget, I don't mean that you don't remember, but forgetting is realizing that I've gone through this process. I can give it the time. I can realize that, yes, I've been through this, but not dwell on it and then, put it behind. So that's where the forgetting comes into play. So it was very difficult, and it's, as you said, like a two-edged sword. But that's what healing is about, and that's what it entails. So you have to go back, you have to dig deep, you have to bring out the hurt, and sometimes relive it again so you can get your relief.
We're going to be hearing shortly the poem itself, which is going to be deeply moving, deeply impactful. You can't miss it. And of course, there are several of the poems in this book, Surviving a Narcissist. So the prose is one thing. Your experiences were one thing in terms of writing, reliving, and essentially recounting those experiences. What made you think about the poetry side?
Well, the poetry was not, it came at times, when I was alone, when I couldn't sleep, I lie in bed, and I just decided to write what I was feeling, what I went through. So that's how the book itself came into being. So the poetry, I had no idea in my head, well, I'm writing this because I'm about to write a book. I'm writing it because I wanted to reach, other people. I was just writing on paper what was in my head, what I was going through, what I was thinking in my, in my dark moments. But I've decided to take it further and to do the spoken word, because I realized that I can also reach a wider audience, because there are persons who may not necessarily want to sit and read the book. But by listening to the spoken word, I think they're so moving and so intense that it can actually encourage someone to read the book as well. So if you really don't like reading and you listen to the spoken word as well, you can still get the message as to what I went through, what you should do. There is a message in each poem.
One of the lines from this poem, I speak my truth. My truth I speak to teach my child, my flesh and blood. That's deeply moving. The poem ends with the truth always wins. How important was it for you to make that clear?
Because, as I said, I went through quite a lot. And even, again, I'll go back to the legal system, even going through that, it was very difficult because I got roadblocks and there were people working against me who did not necessarily speak the truth at all times. But I think what got me through is the fact that I spoke my truth. What I said was the truth. My story is the truth. And I was able to put that forward, and I won in a sense that I got my justice and my peace by speaking my truth.
And that was ultimately, it seems, all you wanted, your peace, primarily, the inner peace. Octavia, has that inner peace, one, been realized? And how good does it feel?
It feels extremely, extremely good. And I'll tell you why. It's because going through this process has done so much for me. I mean, the pain was not, it was not easy going through. But once I went through that, I was able to get, as you say, my peace and get a relief. And that has led me to understanding what happiness is, what it is to be happy, what it is to be mentally free. So I have been doing a lot of work on myself. So I have been doing a lot of soul searching, learning to let go, learning to master, my mind and how we think. So although I went through something that was very intense, but it taught me a lot and it helped me to get my peace by me digging deep inside. Because sometimes when these things happen to us, we also have to take accountability sometimes, because it's your choice. We always have a choice and we make choices in life, and we have to reap the consequences of our choices, whether it's good or bad. So that's what this is all about. I made a choice. I had to go through the motion, but then it did not just end in a negative. It helped me as well to be able to dig deep inside and see where you went wrong as well, because sometimes we go through things because we allow it, and that's where I went wrong. You allowed certain things for way too long, and that can destroy you as well. So for me, it was about letting go. It was about learning to understand that your happiness comes from within and not from anyone or anything. But it's different aspects of your life. If you learn to let go things and accept certain things in life, then that's where that comes from. A true happiness comes from.
What is the strongest message you want this poem, I Speak My Truth, to send to other women who might be in the same situation as you, and men too? Let's not forget that some men might be in some difficult situations. So anyone who finds himself in a situation as difficult as you did, what should this poem teach them?
It will teach you that you should not really keep what you're going through and your truth or your story to yourself, because it can always reach someone else. It can always help someone else. So in my case, I think I'm doing it for the long-term effect where it can help my child if she ever has to go through a situation like this. And it can help other women as well, people who are struggling and who are going through. So you never know who you can reach. You never know who you can help when you speak your truth, when you speak out, because we're saying silence is really not okay. So if you speak out and you speak your truth, you never know what can come from that. Because I knew what I wanted the book to do. I knew the work I would have loved for it to do, but it's done so much more than I even envisioned, because I decided to speak my truth. So just to encourage persons to speak their truth, speak out, tell your story because you may just be saving a life.
And on that profound note, I Speak My Truth, one of the several poems in this book, Surviving a Narcissist by Octavia Nicholas. You will find these poems deeply moving and deeply impactful. From trauma and travails to triumph, the Octavia Nicholas story. You have to continue to stay with us for the spoken word. Time now for us to hear the poem in its entirety on this, the spoken word.
I speak my truth. I endeavor to speak my truth through hurt and pain, to seek my freedom and healing, to conquer my demons and banish my fears. My truth I speak to teach my child, my flesh and blood, that only the truth can set one free. To speak the truth will pave the way, to let her know silence is not okay. To help bring healing to a sister, relieve emotional anguish for a mother, overcoming spiritual battles, enlightening the mind, leaving fear behind. Yes, my truth will win. The truth always wins.